So I decided to do something different with Where's My Tea. So instead of waiting Saturdays and months because I don't upload that often, I decided to do something that my girl Bossy is doing. Now, before I take anything from anyone, her name is Just Boss and Beauty. She has a segment called Ask Bossy where people send her stories and she give advice on it. Now, I'm going to be honest. I think I really started this whole advice, where's my tea thing, and then people hopped on it. But I love her concept. She gets so many emails that she just read them in one video and answer them all. So I think I'm going to do that. So, welcome to Where's My Tea Scandals. So this email says, hey Nene, first off, let me say I love you. Okay, I'm 22, going on 23, and recently I've just feeling like that I need to get my spirit together and get right back with God. I'm not a bad seed. I don't live 100% correct by the Bible, but I can do better. Anyways, one thing I've decided to do is become celibate until marriage. Now here's my problem. I've been in a relationship for 2.5 years, and ultimately, me practicing celibacy means that my partner must do so as well. And he is not happy with that. I'm kind of at a crossroads here because he's a wonderful guy and never had any issues, and he treats me like a queen. He feels that I'm trying to force him into this without giving him a choice, or that I'm trying to rush him into him marrying me, which is not true. This is just something I feel in my heart I must do. I love this man, and I know many like him don't come around too often. I don't want to lose my guy, but I'm not going against my stance either. What should I do? Okay, I've been like this before where I had my moment where God was calling me, and it was just like, Natisha, take this calling and go. Like, be celibate. You know, get your dude to be celibate, and take this because God don't call you too often, and our times is limited here. I understand completely because my ex wasn't for it. It was just like, how you gonna take sex away from me? Like, if we came to this relationship fucking like this, what I'm trying to do, and it's really, really hard to get men to turn around. But you have two options. One, I would say, actively go to church. Now, you cannot turn somebody else's life around and make them love Jesus and want to be for Jesus. This is actually like a mental decision and a choice that they must make. You cannot force this on somebody. Just like you, nobody forced God on you. It was just a choice, a decision, and a feeling that you was like, I'm seeking God. You can kind of lead someone to God, but you cannot force them to live Christ-like. You really need to figure out what his understanding of God is, and if you guys feel the same way. Somebody can't be half into God, and that's it. It's just not gonna work. So first, develop what your understanding is of Christ. Then I would say keep him into church. Go to church. Get someone to talk to him, like a spiritual leader, your pastor. The second thing is you'll notice that when you start to seek God, you lose a lot of friends and you lose a lot of people that you hung out with. So you may be seeking God and you may truly want this man, but if this is not the man that God is set out for you to be with, then you can't force it. It'll never be. So before you give up on this guy, I would say do all the things to push him into church. Figure out if this is what he really wants to do and if he really wants to seek God. You have two options. Take him to church, try to do your part in being equally yoked. And if that does not work, then maybe that's just a sign from God that he's working on you, and while he's working on you, everybody else must go. Hopefully that works. So the next story says he won't marry me. It says, hey Nene, my boyfriend and I have been together for almost 4 years. Recently we were having a conversation and I brought up the topic of marriage, and he basically told me marriage wasn't for him. This isn't the first time we've had this conversation, but it's like he keeps going back and forth. Because the last time we had this conversation, he was all for marriage. Now this time he's telling me that marriage isn't for him, and I got a little upset and went to one of my moods where I just want to be left alone. And now he's super upset with me. As of right now, I'm kind of stuck on a place on whether I should stay in this relationship or leave, because I actually want to get married, and now I feel like these past 4 years have been a waste. What should I do? This is a conversation that you guys must have in the beginning, and I feel like for 4 years you guys may have had that conversation in the beginning. If now he's still wishy-washy on if he want to get married, this nigga's still out doing what he's trying to do. 4 years, usually if a guy's willing to be with you that long, he knows by that time, this is my wife, this is who I'm going to marry, this is what we doing. But it seems like he's still playing. If he's still on the wishy, on the iffy, that means this nigga is just ready to be laid up with no commitment. You my girl, but I ain't trying to have that full commitment. Usually guys are kind of scared like that, and when they are, that's because they still doing them. I mean, personally, that's wasting my time. If the goal is not marriage and we're dating, and after year 2, the goal's not marriage, and it's now year 4, the goal's still not marriage, there's nothing I can do, because now you're laying up in the bed with me, shacking up, and there's nothing that you're giving me. Like, I'm not getting anything out of this. So personally, I gotta go. But it's hard when you're dealing with a person that you've been with for such a long time. However, do you have more time to waste? Because next it'll be 8 years and he still don't know. If he don't know now, this man not gonna ever know. So my advice is, girl, kick rocks, keep it moving. Don't shack up with somebody that don't even know if they want to marry you, because by this time you should have a ring on it. Speaking of ring, let me go get mine. Yeah, by this time he should know. He should be fully aware that he wants to put a ring on it and you guys are going somewhere. And if he is going back and forth, that's some red flags to me. And it seems like he fully ain't ready. And I don't know how much longer he's going to be ready. You cannot raise a man. You better listen to that K. Michelle song. I don't know the history of y'all relationship, but let me tell you, honey, the time is ticking, okay? We ain't got forever. And if ultimately your goal is to get married in life, then you want somebody with the same goal. Alright, so this next story is, I had sex with my BFF, but it's a kicker. It say, hey boo, I love your personality, but honey, I need you to give me the real for this situation. I've been with my fiance for 6 years. He proposed to me 2 years ago, but I've been stalling the wedding because something just doesn't feel right. Our home life is good, but our sex life is not popping. He thinks everything is good, but for some reason, I no longer orgasm or even interested in making love to him. My best friend, who's a female and a stud, of 16 years, gave me a surprise getaway vacation for my B-Day. My fiance couldn't go due to work conflict, so she came with me. I'm assuming the B-Day vacation was supposed to be for her and her husband, but since the husband couldn't make it, the best friend tagged along. Okay. We spent 7 days in Costa Rica. We've never kissed, flirted, or anything in all the years we've known each other, but ended up fucking on the 6th night of the vacation. I don't know how it happened, but I orgasmed like I never did before. It's been a week since we've been home from the trip. I haven't told my fiance yet because I really don't know what to say, and I think my bestie has feelings for me more than just a friend. I've noticed it before, but I think I have feelings for her too. I don't know how to explain it. What should I do? Okay, 1, this is your fiance. You basically cheated on him. To me, for a female to wait 6 years for marriage, it kind of seems like she's not ready anyway. And as you say, you have been stalling, not 6 years. You've been together for 6. He proposed 2 years ago. So he proposed on the 4th year. Okay. And you say you have been stalling it because it just didn't seem right, which I do understand. However, 6 years is a long time just to be spending with somebody and just wasting time, and that's what it seems like. I feel like you should have been completely upfront and honest in the beginning to let him know, I'm not sure, and then especially about the sex, because I've had a segment on this before where the sex is not good and people tend to stick around and you're still unhappy. People like that, they tend to weigh sex really, really high on their relationship or in their standards for people. And it seems like sex is high on your list and he's not doing that for you. And when you're not sexually satisfied, you go looking. You know when you with somebody and it's like they got everything you need, your eyes don't look nowhere. Can't nobody do it for you. But when you're not sexually satisfied, girl, you be like, I wonder, you be choosing. And that's what it seems like what happened here. I give everybody this advice, especially if you engaged and you don't know about this whole marriage thing. Don't take it any further. You done already cheated with your best friend. For one, my best friend wouldn't be doing me no 7-day getaway vacation thing. I don't know. That's just a little fishy for me. But I think that you should call off the engagement with your husband or with your fiance. It doesn't seem like you're 100% into it anyway. Hence the reason you have been stalling. Do I think you should pursue this thing with your best friend? Not at all. But you may just do it. And maybe you like women. You never know. I don't know if you like women or maybe you have an attraction to her. I'm not sure, but I definitely feel like you should call off the engagement thing. You don't need to string somebody along because it really feels like that's what you're doing with him. Alright, so the last 2 stories, I'm actually going to read this from my laptop. So this one is, my fiance was a man all along. Hello Nene, please don't think this is strange, but I'm actually a male viewer. I came here from your advice video called My Wife's Big Secret. Here's why. I'm 33 years old and I was with my ex-fiance for 8 years. Let me just get straight to the point. I recently found out that she was born a man. I swear I never had no clue. Due to strong religious beliefs, we agreed on no sex till marriage. We met through friends at our church. I was 24, she was 22. For the past year, she had taken some interest in purchasing various sex toys. It was actually a secret till months later when I accidentally found them. The excuse was, since we've been saving ourselves away from marriage, she wanted to temporarily please. She's also had a laptop for her personal use, but this was never alarming to me because it's been around for years. What did alarm me was that she was rarely ever on hers whenever she was around me. And when she would be on hers, she would look sharp as an angle to see if I'm peeking. Conflict broke out when she changed her password. At first I took it as if she was cheating on me, but what I found was a nightmare. With strong suspicion and insecurity, I decided to reset her password and do some digging. Bitch. I needed answers. It didn't take me long to find the mortifying truth. She's been making money off of sexually explicit cam show videos. That explains why she got the toys. There plastered on the screen was who I thought I would be marrying. I saw her genitalia. I feel horrible, even when talking about this, but I need closure. She's a man. I need help. To make a long story short, I have been a wreck. I immediately packed up for some belongings and I'm staying with my brother. I blocked off all contact from her, or he, but I know she knows. How do I move on from this? How do I tell my family? I'm disgusted that her family didn't even tell me. There's no excuse on her side that she could justify this. What do I do? I don't know what it's like, or I can't imagine. I be trying to imagine, like, okay, I'm with somebody and I can't tell if they're a man. I mean, this don't show nothing. I'm sure y'all touched or grabbed or something, but to put myself in the person's shoes who's trying to hide their identity, I'm sure it's a lot of motherfucking taping, cuffing, all that, and maybe that's the reason why you don't see it. But to have been with this person for 8 years, there were no 8 years. And then you said that, I don't know if you guys were waiting for marriage for that long, but red flag number one, who waits 8 years to get married? Now, that's pretty messed up for me to say because people wait that long of a time. I have an aunt who was with her husband for 10 years and they finally got married. So maybe it's not a big thing to you guys, so let's just scratch that. But I don't... It's just really hard to believe that 8 years you did not have no clue that this person was a man. But it seems to me that you need some type of closure. It seems to me that you're angry. And the only way to release that anger is if you talk and get some answers. I really don't know. And I don't say release it in a physical way because this email is coming from a hurt point of view instead of a pissed or angry. You can kind of read and tell when somebody's like, I want to fuck this bitch up. But this just seems like you were hurt. So it seems like you're coming from a hurt point of view. And I would say if you're hurt and you really want the answers, especially for a story like this, with 8 years being with somebody, you truly just need to get answers. And you really need to talk and have a discussion. I don't think that you need to harbor in your emotions. It also seems like that you have some issues with her family because you mentioned that in the end that you can't believe her family kept this from you. And to be honest, it wasn't her family's business to tell you. That is devastating news. And if they probably was under the assumption that you knew. Or if you didn't know, we're not telling because it's not our place, which I do understand. And her family has a great deal of respect. But I feel like you just need to have a conversation. If this is not for you, move on completely. And this is going to take some time because it is an 8-year relationship. But you can truly move on. You've done the first thing, as I said, to not have communication with this person. But judging by this email, you need some type of closure. And I think you should get that with a conversation. You asked me how do you rebuild from this or would you ever? And you definitely would. There will be some trust issues in this. But I'm really finding it hard with this whole 8-year thing that you just had no clue. Like, there was no digging. No friend hinted something. Look at the, her friends. Like, did she have male friends, gay friends especially? Like, did she have gay friends? You know what I mean? Like, there was nothing there. So I really can't get past the whole I had no idea. But yes, you can rebuild from this. If you need to talk to someone as far as therapy, you can do that. But I won't say just completely shut out love. But my best advice is to get a conversation. And maybe, I'm not saying, I don't know. It's going to take some prayer. Because I know when I need to speak to somebody, I need to pray on it first to get this anger out of my system. But it doesn't seem like you're angry. It seems like you're really hurt. So hopefully this conversation that you have will come from a hurt point of view. And just ask your questions. And then once you get that off the table, that's it. Go your separate ways. Your question I deal with. Now it's time for you to deal with your anger, deal with healing. But you won't completely heal until you find out the reasons behind this and how the wool was over your eyes. Alright, y'all, last story. It's titled, My Husband is a Stripper. It says, hey, Nene, I love your videos, but let's get down to business. I'm engaged to a male stripper. Sometimes I wonder how I got in this situation, but damn, I need help. I met my fiance over a year ago and we fell in love. We have had our problems, but we always make it through. In November 2014, he proposed to me. When we first hooked up, he told me he used to strip years ago. And I made a joke at the time that if he starts back, as long as I get the money, it will be cool. About 9 months after we met, he got laid off from his job. Around that same time, I found out I was pregnant as well. In between finding a new job, he decided he would start tripping to pay his half of the bills. I was pissed. How in the hell you get me pregnant and decide to go shake your dick in a bitch face for cash? He promised it would be temporary, but I still was angry. Yes, he gave me all the cash, but girl, you should see his eyes. He is almost naked, flipping women, licking on women, and has even made a name for himself and get booked for shows now. Now we have a 1 month old, and by this time this video is old, so the baby got to be like 6-7 months, going on a year. We have a 1 month old now, and he still continues to get fast money even though he now has a job. I feel like I'm getting another woman's leftover. I love him and I am strongly in love with him, but I hate the fact that he acts like every show will be his last show, meaning I'll do it and this is it, or a reunion tour. But I think he loves the attention from females. Nene, what should I do? I can't go on like this. Okay, personally, I don't watch male strippers, but from what I know, females truly enjoy them. And I know that sometimes male strip clubs can be really, really intense. I've seen the action of a male strip club based on videos from friends, from godparents and shit, but I've never really been inside one. And from the videos I've seen, it gets pretty intense inside a male strip club. Like, females have you flipped up and stuff like that, but male strip clubs, she's right. Males do flip women over. They do lick. It's really intense. It's really sexual. Dicks is hard. Sometimes it is. Dicks everywhere. So I get the intense part of it. I don't think you should have allowed him to get back into stripping. It seems as if he enjoys it because, and I think he made that statement to you just to see like kind of where your head was at, because nobody's gonna tell you, oh, I used to do something years ago and then start back up all of a sudden when they meet you. So I really felt like he was a stripper upon meeting you, and just to see where your head was at, and because you made a joke about it, it was like, cool, I can continue to do it. I'm just gonna ease into this a little bit. But it seems that this is unacceptable, and this is not the life that you want for your family, for your husband, your fiance, and your baby. So put your foot down. Let this man know you got a whole job. What do you need this fast cash for? I don't need it. And another thing he has over your head is the fact that you're accepting the money. So he can't say it's not like I'm out here stripping and I'm keeping the money for myself. I'm stripping for you. I'm stripping for us. You accepting it. So if it's something that you really don't want to be, don't take that cash. If it's something you really don't want him to do, don't take the money. Tell this man, hey, I'm not with the whole stripping thing. I'm not trying to be with somebody who wants to be a stripper. Your time is up. I don't want to see another show. I don't want to hear about another show. I don't like the fact that we females are on my husband. I don't like the fact that I'm feeling like behind or second best to the woman. Like, this has to stop. It really has to stop. The bills are looking okay. He already have a job. You have your job. There's no need for this extra cash. Call into it. But the more you start to accept this money, you continue to accept the money from it, he's going to continue to hold that over your head. You ain't get mad when I just gave you $200 last night. You know what I mean? And men will be as petty as women sometimes. And you really don't want that. So stop taking that cash and tell this man, hey, your stripping days are over. Now, if he decides to put up a big fight and he want to continue to strip, and I mean, this is his money, blah, 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 then that's up to you from there. I don't really see a man, if he ain't really that deep into it and he only doing for the cash, I wouldn't see a man putting up a fight. But if he's doing it because, if he putting up a fight, that's because this man enjoy it, and some other extra shit is coming behind that, which you don't need. Your baby is almost a year now because this email is old. Almost a year now. You don't need that. Like, but that decision is up to you. Okay, boo, so I hope that you guys like this whole Where's My Tea scandal type thing. I wanted to include all of these videos in one because I know I have a very big audience that love Where's My Tea. And instead of just getting one story, you got a couple of them in here. Instead of this being posted on a Saturday, I'm going to post these kind of throughout the weekdays. So one day throughout the week, you'll get a Where's My Tea scandals. And these videos are fairly long because there's more stories in there, so you can always go back and reference them. So I hope that you like this. Give me a thumbs up to let me know that you like this segment. And if so, we're going to bring the scandals back. Also, here and there, I will be doing Where's My Tea Saturdays for you guys, which will only feature one episode. So, hopefully, I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. I'll be having a lot going on in bitch me time, okay? But anyways, guys, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. I will see you guys soon. I'm Nene today to all my new subbies. Hey, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, y'all.